Marley was dead to begin with.
There was no doubt whatever about that.
Old Marley was dead as a doornail. Mind, I don't mean to say that I know of my own knowledge what there is particularly dead about a doornail. I might have been inclined myself to regard a coffin nail as one of the deadliest pieces of ironmongery in the trade. Maybe a hangnail. What? Oh.
Scrooge, a squeezing,
Wrenching.
grasping,
Scraping.
clutching, coveting old sinner, hard and sharp as a flint, and solitary as an oyster.
No warmth could warm. No wintry weather chill him.
Nobody ever stopped him in the street to say, "My dear Scrooge, who are you?"
But what did Scrooge care? It was the very thing he liked.
Once upon a time, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house. His clerk was copying letters. A Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Scrooge's nephew.
Bah, humbug. Christmas, a humbug, Uncle. You don't mean that, I'm sure. I do. Out upon Merry Christmas. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes out with Merry Christmas on his lips shall be boiled in his own pudding. Uncle! Nephew, keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine. Keep it, but you don't keep it. Well, let me leave it alone then. Much good has it ever done you.
There are many things that I might have derived good, by which I have not profited, I dare say. I've always thought of Christmas as a good time, a kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time, and though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe that it has done me good, and it will do me good. And I say, God bless it! Why can't we just be friends?
Good afternoon.
I am so sorry with all my heart to find you so resolute. I'll keep my Christmas humor to the last. So, a Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year.
Good afternoon.
His nephew left the room without an angry word.
But the clerk, in letting Scrooge's nephew out, had let 2 other people in.
At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, it is more than usually desirable that we should make some slight provision for the poor and destitute who suffer greatly at the present time. If a few of us are endeavoring to raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of want, what shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to be anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. I don't make merry myself at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry. I help to support the prisons and the workhouses. They cost enough, and those who are badly off must go there.
Many can't go there, many would rather die.
If they had rather die, they had better go do it and decrease the surplus population.
The hour of shutting up the counting house arrived.
You want all day tomorrow, I suppose?
If quite convenient.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair. Humbug!
Scrooge went home to bed. Now, it is a fact that there was nothing at all particular about the knocker at his house, except that it was very large.
Let any man explain to me how it happened that Scrooge, having his key in the lock of the door, saw in the knocker, not a knocker, but Marley's face. Marley's face!
As Scrooge looked fixedly at his phenomenon, it was a knocker again. So he said,
Hip, hip.
And closed it with a bang!
up Scrooge went, not hearing a button.
Darkness is cheap, and Scrooge liked it.
Quite satisfied, he closed the door and locked himself in.
He put on his dressing gown, slippers, and his nightcap, and sat down before the very low fire.
Humbug.
His glance happened to rest upon a bell that hung in the room. He saw this bell begin to swing. Soon, it rang out loudly, and so did every bell in the house.
They were succeeded by a clanking noise, as if some person were dragging a heavy chain.
Then he heard the noise much louder.
Then coming up the stairs,
And
then straight towards the door.
It's humbug still. I won't believe it.
His color changed, though. When? Without a pause. It came through the heavy door and passed into the room before his eyes.
I know him. Marley's ghost.
Ooh. What do you want with me?
Much.
Who are you?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley. You don't believe in me.
I don't.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because a little thing affects them. You may just be an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of underdone potato. It's more gravy than grief about you, whatever you are.
At this, the spirit raised a frightful cry.
Mercy, dreadful apparition, why do you trouble me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk among his fellow men and travel far and wide. And if that spirit does not go forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death. Mark me, in life my spirit never rode one our money changing on, and weary journeys lie before me.
Oh, Jacob Marley, tell me more.
You have yet a chance and hope of escaping my fate. You will be hunted by 3 spirits. Expect the first one tomorrow when the bell tolls 1. Expect the next upon the next night at the same hour, and the third upon the next night when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more.
Scrooge tried to say humbug, but stopped at the very first syllable. And being, from the emotion he had undergone, or the fatigues of the day,
Or his glimpse of the invisible world, or the conversation of the ghost.
or the lateness of the hour, he went straight to bed, without undressing, and fell asleep on the instant.
When Scrooge awoke, the hour bell sounded a deep, dull, hollow, melancholy one.
Light flashed up in the room upon the instant.
Scrooge found himself face to face with the unearthly visitor. It was a strange figure, like a child.
Yet not so like a child as like an old man.
Are you the spirit, sir, whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past. Walk with me.
As the words are spoken, they passed through the wall and stood upon an open country road.
Good heaven, I was a boy here.
Woohoo! Yay!
The school is not quite deserted. A solitary child, neglected by his friends, is left there still. These are but shadows of things that have been. They have no consciousness of us.
But shadows?
No.
They stood in the busy thoroughfares of the city. It was made plain enough by the dressing of the shops that here, too, it was Christmas time. The ghost stopped at a certain warehouse store and asked Scrooge if he knew it.
Know it? Why, I was apprenticed here.
They went in, at sight of an old gentleman in a Welsh wig. Scrooge cried in great excitement.
It's old Fezziwig, bless his heart. It's Fezziwig alive again.
Yo-ho there, Ebenezer, Wilkins.
A living and moving picture of Scrooge's former self. A young man came briskly in, accompanied by his fellow apprentice.
No more work tonight. Christmas Eve, Wilkins. Christmas, Ebenezer. Let's have the shutters up before man can say, Jack Robinson, clear away, my lads, and let's have lots of room here.
In came a fiddler with a music book. In came Mrs. Fezziwig with a vast smile. And they all came one after another. There were dances, and there was cake, and there were mince pies, people who would dance and had no notion of walking.
Small matter to make these silly folks so full of gratitude.
Small?
Why, is it not? He has spent but a few pounds of your mortal money. 3 or 4, perhaps. Is that so much that he deserves this praise?
It isn't that, Spirit. He has the power to render us happy or unhappy, to make our service a pleasure or a toil. say that his power lies in words and looks, and things impossible to add and count. The happiness he gives us is quite as great as if it cost a fortune.
What's the matter?
I should like to be able to have a word or two with my clerk just now, that's all. Spirit, remove me from this place. Haunt me no longer.
Here we come a-caroling among the leaves so green. Here we come a-wandering so fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you, and a Merry Christmas too. And God bless you and send you a Happy New Year. And God send you a Happy New Year.
Awaking in the middle of a tough snore and sitting up in bed to get his thoughts together.
Scrooge wished to challenge the spirit on the moment of its appearance, and did not wish to be taken by surprise and made nervous.
His own room had undergone a surprising transformation. The walls and ceiling were hung with living roses that looked like a perfect row. The crisp leaves of holly, mistletoe, and ivy reflected back the light, and such a mighty blaze went roaring up the chimney.
Heaped upon the floor to form a kind of throne were turkeys, geese, mince pies, plum puddings, juicy oranges, luscious pears, great bowls of punch, and immense 12 cakes. Okay, now I'm just hungry.
Upon this couch there sat a giant glorious seat, who bore a glowing torch.
Come in, and know me better, man. I'm the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You have never seen the like of me before?
Never. Spirit, conduct me where you will. If you ought to teach me something tonight, let me profit by it.
Touch my ring.
Scrooge did as he was told and held it fast. Holly, mistletoe, red berries, ivy, all vanished instantly, and they stood in the city streets on Christmas morning.
And perhaps it was the pleasure the good spirit had in showing off the power of hers, or else it was her own kind, generous, hearty nature, and her sympathy with all poor men, led her straight to Scrooge's clerk, for there she went,
And took Scrooge with her.
and on the threshold of the door the spirit smiled, and stopped to bless Bob Cratchit's dwelling with the sprinkling of her torch.
I just love the Cratchit family.
They're the best.
Definitely selfie worthy.
Then up rose Mrs. Cratchit.
Whatever has got your precious father, Dan, and your brother, Tiny Tim?
There's Father coming.
In came Bob.
And Tiny Tim.
And have little Tim behave. As good as gold, and better. A Merry Christmas to us all, my dears.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas.
God bless us, everyone!
Merry Christmas.
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacancy in the Portuguese corner, and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If the shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
Oh no! My spirit, say he will be spared!
What then? If he be like to die, he better do it and decrease the surplus population.
Ooh, burn.
Sick burn. His own words.
Mr. Scrooge, I'll give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon.
My dear, the children, it's Christmas Day.
All drinks health for yours, and the day's not for his. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry
Christmas
and a Happy New Year.
Okay, enough of this. We're running out of time.
Right. Midnight.
Scrooge looked about him for the ghost, and saw it no more. As the last stroke ceased to vibrate, he remembered the prediction of old Jacob Marley, and lifting up his eyes, beheld a solemn phantom, draped and hooded, coming in a mist along the ground towards him.
I am in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come. Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any specter I have seen. Will you not speak to me?
It gave him no reply.
The hand was pointed straight before them.
Lead on, the night is waning fast and it is precious time to me, I know. Lead on, spirit.
I don't know much about it either way. I only know he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
I thought he'd never die. What has he done with his money?
I don't know. I only know he hasn't left it to me.
Old Scratch has got his own at last. Spirit, let me see some tenderness connected with a death.
The ghost conducted him through several streets familiar to his feet. They entered poor Bob Cratchit's house and found the mother and the children round the fire.
Quiet, very quiet. Peter had a book before him, but surely they were very quiet.
The mother laid her work upon the table and put her hand up to her face.
The color hurts my eyes. They're better now again. Mix them with by the candlelight, and I won't show you guys to your father when he comes home. For the world, it must be near his time.
Past it rather, but I think he has walked a little slower than he used to these few past evenings, Mother.
I have known him walk very fast with Tiny Tim upon his shoulder, very fast indeed.
And so have I, often.
And so have I.
But he was very light to carry, and your father loved him so. That was no trouble at all. No trouble. You went today then, Robert?
Yes, my dear. I wish you could have gone. It would have done you good to see how green a place it is, but you'll see it often. I promised him that I would walk there on Sunday. My little child. My little child.
Spectre, something informs me our parting moment is at hand. I know it, but I know not how.
The ghost of Christmas yet to come invaded him, as before.
A churchyard.
The spirit stood among the graves and pointed down to one. Scrooge crept towards it, trembling as he went, and following the finger read upon the stone of the neglected grave of his own name.
Ebenezer Scrooge!
Am I that man?
The finger pointed from the grave to him and back again.
Nurse me not be the man I must have been. Why show me this if I am past all hope? Show me that I yet may change these shadows shown to me by an altered life. I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. Oh, tell me I may sponge away the writing on this stone.
Holding up his hands in one last prayer to have the fate reversed, he saw an alternation in the phantom's hood and dress. It shrunk, collapsed, and dwindled down into a bedpost.
Yes, and the bedpost was his own. The bed was his own. The room was his own. Best and happiest of all, the time before him was his own to make amends in.
Running to the window, he opened it and put out his head.
What's today?
Cried Scrooge, calling downward to a boy in Sunday clothes.
What's today? That's Christmas Day. It's Christmas Day. I haven't missed it. Do you know the poulterers down the street at the corner? I should hope I did. An intelligent boy, a remarkable boy. And do you know whether they've sold that prize turkey that was hanging out there? It's hanging out now. What's a delightful boy? Yes, my buck. Go and buy it. So what now? Go and buy it and bring the man here that I may give him direction on where to take it. Come back with the man and I'll give you a shilling. Come back with him in less than 5 minutes and I'll give you half a crown. Woohoo! I'll send it to Bob Cratchit's. He shan't know who sends it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim.
Scrooge dressed himself all in his best and at last got out into the streets.
Good morning. A Merry Christmas to you. Fred!
Why, bless my soul, who's this?
It's I, your Uncle Scrooge. I've come to dinner.
Scrooge was early at the office next morning. If he could only be there first and catch Bob Cratchit coming late.
What do you mean by coming in at this hour?
I'm very sorry, sir. It seems to be I'm behind my time.
You are? Yes, I think you are. Step this way if you please, my friend. Now listen here. I am not going to stand for this sort of thing any longer. And therefore, I am about to raise your salary. A Merry Christmas, Bob. A Merrier Christmas, Bob, than I have given you for many a year. I'll raise your salary and endeavor to assist your struggling family.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and infinitely more.
And to Tiny Tim,
Who did not die.
he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew, or any other good city, town, or borough in the good old world.
Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but his own heart laughed, and that was quite enough for him.
And it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge.
And so,
As Tiny Tim observed,
God bless us, everyone!